AITA for refusing to give my inheritance to my struggling family. Posted by u/thrower inheritance drama. So, I 22M need some serious advice here because my family is about to explode. My grandfather passed away a few months ago, and to be honest, I was devastated. He was the one person in my family who actually cared about me. My parents 48F50M didn't see him that way, they saw him as a financial resource, someone to take care of them when they needed help. My brother 26M would visit when he needed money for a new car or something, but that was the extent of their relationship with him. Now, I've always been close to Grandpa. He practically raised me after my parents were too busy with work and their lifestyle to be involved. He was the one who taught me how to ride a bike, helped me with homework, and even covered for me when I messed up. So yeah, he meant everything to me. After Grandpa passed, I was dreading the whole will reading. I figured there might be a few old keepsakes or some of his books, but I wasn't expecting anything major. Well, the day of the will reading, my whole world flipped upside down. The lawyer started reading, and when he reached the part where Grandpa's assets were distributed, he said, "To my grandson Alex, I leave my house, all my savings, and all remaining assets." Silence. My mom immediately started crying hysterically. My dad went completely silent but his face turned bright red. My brother, who's usually all about the drama, just laughed and said, "No way, this has to be a joke." I was in shock. I wasn't expecting anything, let alone everything. Then, the lawyer kept going, "To my son my dad, I leave my collection of books and my best wishes." At this point, I could practically feel the anger in the room. My dad's face was twitching, my mom was sobbing uncontrollably, and my brother just sat there shaking his head in disbelief. I looked over at my uncle, my grandpa's other son. This guy got nothing, not even a penny. And he looked like he was about to flip the table. That's when the chaos started. Mom 48F, how could he do this? We took care of him for years. We were there for him when he needed help. Brother 26M, this is ridiculous. You don't even need the money. You're young, you've got your whole life ahead of you. Uncle, this isn't going to stand. I'll contest this will in court. It's clear your grandpa was out of his mind at the end. I just sat there, frozen, totally unprepared for this. The guilt trip. After everything settled down, we went home, and that's when the real pressure began. That night, my mom pulled me aside and asked me to do the right thing. She said that my family was struggling financially, and that I was being selfish by keeping everything. She said family comes first, and that I should give them some of the money to help with their debts. My dad, who had been eerily quiet during the whole thing, finally said, "Think about the kind of man you want to be. This isn't just about money." The guilt was eating at me. On one hand, I feel like Grandpa left me everything for a reason. But on the other, my mom kept guilt-tripping me about how they were struggling, how the house was too much for me to manage alone, and how it was selfish to keep it all. I was torn between what I knew Grandpa wanted and what my family was making me feel. They were pulling every string they could. Then my brother straight up threatened me. He said if I didn't split the inheritance, he'd make life hard for me. And my uncle? He called me a selfish brat and told me I had no idea what it was like to actually care for someone until I'd been in his shoes. The breaking point. But then, something came to light that changed everything for me. I talked to Grandpa's lawyer, who told me that Grandpa had updated his will 6 months before his death. And the reason? He overheard my dad and uncle joking about what they were going to buy once he was gone. He knew exactly what kind of people they were, and he didn't want them to get a single thing. That was the breaking point for me. My grandfather was clear in his decision, and I needed to honor it. My decision. I decided that no matter how much my family pressured me, I was keeping the inheritance. Grandpa wanted me to have it. But my family didn't let up. My mom still calls me every day, crying, begging me to be a good son. My brother is threatening to drag me to court, saying he'll contest the will and ruin my life if I don't split the money. I'm honestly at my breaking point. But the thing is, I'm not backing down. Grandpa knew what he was doing. So, AITA for keeping the inheritance and not sharing it with my family? Top comments. u/vulturehunter99. NTA. Grandpa left you everything for a reason. Your family's reactions are proof they only cared about the money, not him. Don't let them manipulate you. u/thrower inheritance drama up. I feel guilty, but Grandpa left this for me. It's just hard seeing my family turn on me like this. u/legal lurker 23. Do not give them a cent. Talk to a lawyer about the threats your brother and uncle are making. They could drag you into a legal battle that lasts years. u/thrower inheritance drama up. I'm talking to a lawyer, but I feel like they're going to make my life hell if I don't give in. u/savage mode on. If they really loved Grandpa, they'd be honoring his memory, not his money. You're doing the right thing. u/thrower inheritance drama up. Exactly. But it still feels like I'm betraying them, even though I'm not. Final update posted later by Op. I found out that Grandpa had been quietly updating his will for months before his death because he overheard my dad and uncle laughing about spending his money. I think he knew exactly who they were and didn't want to reward their greed. After everything, I'm still keeping the inheritance. It's what Grandpa wanted, and I'm not going to let my family's manipulation force me into giving it up. And if they want to sue me, let them try.